Allan, you've had a few days now a few weeks to process, I guess, what's been the result against Argentina. What have you taken out of the last 2 weeks going into these All Blacks matches?
I think for us there's plenty of growth. I think what we saw over the course of 2 weeks was lots of pride for the jersey and the fight back in both games. I think the point for us though is to not let teams get let up at the start. So I think it was definitely both performances. It was very proud to watch and the fight that the boys had to come back and to win one and to give ourselves an opportunity to potentially win the next. But there's definitely some key learnings in there for us that we need to address this week.
What have you made of the All Blacks season so far? Are they there for the taking this week?
I think it's more on the whole competition. It just shows how strong this rugby championship is. Over the course of 2 weeks, everyone's won one and lost one. So I think for us, there's belief, in our group when we're performing at our best, and that belief comes from our preparation. And I think there'll be some things that we're going to speak about throughout our review that we need to address throughout the whole week, so we can make sure that we're in the best stead on the weekend to go out there and perform the best we can.
Tane, this time last year you played for North Harbour in the NPC. Now you've got a Wallabies crest on your shirt. Just talk to me about what the year's been like since being in Auckland, and I guess how much the NPC helped you into getting to where you are now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a rollercoaster year since then. I kind of came over here to just get better as a rugby player, and I felt like it definitely served its purpose. I came away with some really good education from some good coaches, some good players, a new way of playing rugby, and that's what I was looking to get out of it. And then the bonus was I got picked up for the spring tour, which was obviously unbelievable, and it wasn't the main goal, but it was definitely really cool. And since then, it's been a bit up and down, but I've just tried to keep my process really consistent, and that's all I've ever tried to do. And things outside of my control, I haven't really tried to let those worry me too much. And it's been awesome to be a part of this group for the last 6 weeks.
Did you play on Eden Park in your time in the NPC?
Yeah, I've played at Eden Park a fair few times at the Tars as well, so played there a fair bit.
Just on the challenge that presents, the All Blacks record there, everything that they've achieved, home ground. I mean, what is that prospect like for you guys, and trying to break a record that's stood for a long time?
Yeah, they've obviously got a great record at Eden Park, but at the same time, it is just another footy field, so we're going to prepare accordingly. And the All Blacks are a great side. There's no denying that. So we're going to focus on what we can do and what we can control, and we're going to work really hard this week to give ourselves the best chance on the weekend.
And just finally from me, do you look much into the table? You guys are on the top. You mentioned before you've won one, lost. Everyone's won one, lost one. Do you read too much into what the rugby championship table reads at the moment?
Nah, I think if anything, as players, we read more into the reason to why we're there and the way that we're performing, the way that we prepare. And those are things that we're going to continue to drive throughout the whole week, is understanding what's worked for us, and then the performances where we haven't really nailed our individual jobs. It's to make sure that we prepare well and address that throughout the week, because as I said, there's plenty of belief in the group, in our own game, so we want to make sure that we do everything we can to put our own game on the opposition, so we're going to create that belief throughout the whole week.
Bro, Harbour need you back. You been following him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bro.
Yeah. No.
Sorry, Allan. The one area of the All Blacks that got seriously exposed in the game against Springboks was the set piece. You're up front. How are you guys preparing for what's going to be a very talked about set piece battle?
Yeah, I think for us, it's great. When you got Chrono there, who's the scrum guru. Big Sasu, I thought he's been a great addition to the team around our set piece and our line out and more. So I think if anything, we're just totally focused on ourselves. Making sure that as a unit, everyone's doing their own individual role to buy into the collective. And again, you can always go through games and see where we weren't, quite right. And again, like throughout our own set piece, like there was definitely room for improvement for us over the course of the 2 games against Argentina. And we know that if we make those improvements and everyone's focused on delivering their own role, it's going to put us in good stead for the weekend. But yeah, for sure, like you definitely have an eye on the All Blacks and knowing that they want to make an improvement around, their set piece, but also a reaction from their last game. So. But I think for us, it's focusing on ourselves, knowing that when you're prepare yourself to go out there and deliver your best, like there's plenty of belief in our own group.
Do you feel like the Springboks did you a favour or kind of stitched you up by either exposing the All Blacks' weaknesses or making the All Blacks kind of angry and keen for a bit of retribution or like?
Yeah, I guess I think there'll be kind of both there. Like you'll go back and review it and see where and how the South Africans got the All Blacks, but then you also as a player that if you're on that side, then that you're gonna want to come out and make an improvement in that area as well. So I think for us as an opposing team, you're gonna look at what the Africans did, but again, like we don't scrum like the Africans, so we scrum completely different, and what we do works for us. So we just got to make sure that we always bring it back to us and understand how we're going to impose our own game on their set piece.
And just lastly, a question for both you guys. This is a broader one. One of probably the biggest story in World Rugby at the moment is just how big rugby union is going, like how good it's going in Australia right now with the Lions series and then sold out tests and World Cup coming up. Just simply, how good does it feel to be an Australian rugby player right now?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest. I mean, it's probably something that I'm not used to, coming into professional rugby 5 years ago. During COVID, things were looking a little bit bleak, but now things are really exciting. And as a youngish sort of player coming into the Wallabies now, it's really exciting to see, where we could go and what developments could be made there. And, the Australian public have been right behind us, which has been awesome. I think it's kind of a byproduct of the footy that we're playing at the moment. I think we're playing some more consistent footy than the past, and we're improving, week to week. So I think that's definitely a reason for the rugby public kind of getting behind us a bit more.
And Allan, just as someone who's been around for a while, how's it going?
Yeah, I think it's been awesome, bro. Like it's like the atmosphere's been great in every stadium that we've been to, and all the towns that we've been in. You see young kids and adults walking around in Wallaby jerseys, which I think is just been so good as a player. To see that adds that little bit more, motivation for you to want to go out and perform for your country. And I think as Tane was saying, that it probably does come off the back of performances, but then performing consistently as well. And again, like showing the fight back, over the game in Johannesburg, the game in Argentina, and boys not wanting to give up. I think that's infectious, for our country. So again, I think the things for us as players to control is the way that we're performing and continuing to believe in that, because we know that the fans and our supporters believe in us as well.
Nath, did you have anything for Tane or Allan, mate?
Yeah, just a couple from me. Al, for you, the shoulder. Can you sort of give us an update on how that's sort of coming along and how you go about building confidence in that when you sort of go up against an All Blacks player this week, potentially?
Yeah, it's going well, bro. I've had a couple of back-to-back good weeks, through doing live training, contact, set piece. So, I've ripped into that, and that then gives me confidence to want to go out there and perform if given the opportunity. So, just got to take it one day at a time and expose it as much as I can. I've had a good couple of weeks.
And just, with your out, it's sort of allow Tane Edmed to start and Zane get a bit more minutes. How are you sort of seeing their confidence grow as test match players, particularly Zane, someone who's had maybe not as much minutes as yourself or Tane Edmed in this sort of international arena?
Oh man, I think they've both been great. And Zane's been awesome over the course of the last 5 games. He's someone that's performed well in that third test against the British and Irish Lions, and obviously the 2 test matches over in Africa was a great experience for him. But mate, I think he's from where he was like this time last year, mate. He's improved so much. So there's I think that's probably the great thing about our team. That although there's unfortunately injuries in our team, it does open up opportunities for other blokes to step in, and I think those blokes who have stepped in over the course of the whole team, have performed really well, and he's been a part of the squad for the last couple of years as well, Zane. So that probably helps. His transition from not playing to playing as well. So, I think the depth across the whole squad has been great.
And just Tane, for yourself, how do you sort of assess this second coming of the Wallabies squad? 'Cause I mean, the first one obviously ends with a head knock against Ireland, but again, second test, then you got thrown to centres against South Africa, a bit of a weird one. How do you sort of assess this sort of start where it's been so sort of, I guess, chaotic might not be the right word, but sort of something like that?
Yeah, I think it kind of just comes down to experience. I mean, I've been thrown into some, a difficult situation against South Africa, and I felt like I did a pretty reasonable job at 12, and then to start, last week in the Argentina game was again another bit of experience for me to kind of learn from. So I guess I just put it down to that. It's given me the ability to learn on the run a little bit and try and take whatever opportunity is, like whether I'm on the bench, starting, not in the squad. I'm just trying to kind of get as good as I can and reach my potential and then see how that goes. But it's definitely been interesting first 3 games, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Just finally, I'll just build off what the questions in the room. When you sort of land back in Auckland, like almost exactly 12 months on from the NPC, do you have that moment where you're like, wow, I've come so far, like it's sort of been a wild journey throughout?
Yeah, a little bit. But to me, it's just all a part of it, right? Like, I kind of came over here, as I said before, just trying to get better and learn, and now I'm here, with the Wallabies squad, which is obviously the ultimate goal, which has been really, really cool. So, for me, it's all been a part of a bit of a roller coaster. But as I said to your last question, I wouldn't change it for the world. I had a great 4 months when I was here with North Harbour. I really enjoyed myself and really enjoyed my footy, and I think that that springboarded me to get to this moment.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Anything more, Puppy?
Anything
That's
you miss about Auckland? Anything you miss about Auckland?
For just the boys, eh? I mean, I haven't caught up with them yet, but I'll try and catch up with them throughout the week. And I know they're having a little bit of a tough season, so it'd be good to catch up with a few of those boys and say good day again.
Shield challenge this week.
Yeah.
How good would it be if they could bring that one back?
That would be a big win. Hopefully, is it against Otago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how they go there.